Welcome back to the Board Game Closet second studio. My name's Bradley. Cosmic Frog is from Devious Weasel Games, is for 2 to 6 players, and according to the box, plays in about 45 to 90 minutes, and in my experience, I think that's about right. So let's just get the rating part right out of the way. Here at the Board Game Closet, we give games 1 out of 3 ratings. Green means go out and get it. White means we'd play it if you had it set up. And red means we do not recommend it, we do not like it. For me, this game is absolutely a green. There are so many moving parts to this game that all mesh together super well. It's very intuitive, and the theme, the Cosmic Frog theme, carries out through the entire game. So let me go ahead and get the negative part, the negative aspects of the game up here up front, because there are overwhelmingly good things that I like about this game. So the game doesn't actually come with a board. It actually has this really cool, like 2.5 foot long mat. Now you can see all the hexes on this mat. The setup to this game is a task to behold. There's over 100 little cardboard pieces that need to be placed and stacked in order for you to play the game. Now, once you get them out there, the game just goes, just 0 to 100 immediately. And that's a good part of the game. But once you open the box, it's so long, it's so tedious just to get the game started. But once you do, you are rewarded very quickly. So in this game, you are a 2-mile high frog, and the game comes with these gorgeous minis that have such great detail, which carries through very well with the artwork that comes along with it. This game looks good from the box to the rule book to the ability cards that you get, I'll get to in a minute, and the miniatures do not disappoint. So as your miniature travels through that mat on the main board there, you're actually going through and eating worlds. All your worlds are worth different points based on where they're at in your vault. And they're actually, I'm not sure that I can show it very well on camera, but you can see this smaller piece of cardboard is called a lowland or a lowland, and then your high piece, your highland, is actually a thicker piece of cardboard, and each of them are worth different points. You only have so many spots in your vault, but each spot can hold 3, can stack up to 3. So you actually score in 3 different levels. So as you score the piece, you take it off. Now you're at level 2. Take that off, level 1. And that adds so much strategy to the game. Now, how do pieces get into your vault? When your frog eats them, it actually goes into your gullet. The piece, once you eat it, goes all the way down, and then once you empty it, goes from all the way at the bottom up and out. So that's very thematic. It's kind of silly, but I love it. I've had such a great time with this game. Another cool thing is your frogs don't die. You don't really have health. What actually happens is, let me try to show you. What actually happens is, once you lose battle, if you're outside of the world and in the aether or space, you actually end up going to the outer dimension. I'm telling you, this thing is like a psychedelic movie, sci-fi movie from the 70s. It's great. You get knocked into the outer dimension, and once you're in the outer dimension, other frogs can actually get into your vault and steal land that you've swallowed. If you're just on land, like if you're just in the middle part here and get into a combat, then they actually can take it out of your gullet. They can take different land out of your gullet. And there's only so many resources available. Once we run out, the game is over. And so once you get to a later portion of the game, you're going to be pretty desperate for, say I've got three meadows that are lined up going this way, and if I got one more, well, that might get me 5 more points. Where can I get another meadow? Probably somebody else's gullet or vault. And so once you get to a certain portion of the game, combat is going to be all over the place. And if you don't like take that mechanics, then maybe this isn't for you. But the combat in this game is so cool. It makes sense. The rule book is maybe the second thing that I didn't love about the game. But they include lore. The frogs actually have a certain name. They're serving different deities, and that's why they're even doing all of this. So once you make it through the rule book, you kind of get the point of it, but you really have to start playing the game before the everything starts kind of clicking together in your head. So as you're playing the game, you play as a frog, but frogs change abilities. And that is a really cool thing about the game. They actually include this each card is completely different artwork, and each card is actually a completely different ability. You start the game with one, but then there's what's called an Aether Flux that actually gives you the ability, the chance to change your own unique ability, or you can pay to keep with the same one. Now, that's a lot of information I'm throwing out there to you, but there's a lot of moving parts in this game. Normally, that throws me off. Normally, that makes me seem like it's going to take too much to learn. I'm not going to be able to teach it very well. Maybe once I get it learned at somebody else's house, so on and so forth. But for me, this game is very intuitive. All the moving pieces move together very easily, and it was really not that hard to teach. Now, another interesting thing about the game is turn order. So actually, turn order is determined by the action deck. So each card is going to be a different color, and the colors represent your frog. So who would go first? Red. Who would go next? It might be another red. But then it could be any other color. So you might have pockets where one color may go several times, one right after the other, but then they may not go the rest of that round. And that is so interesting. That's such a great way to equalize people. It would be difficult for someone to get ahead and stay ahead, because once they've went 3 or 4 times in a row, they may not go again for that whole rest of the round. Which is really interesting to me. Another card besides Aether Flux that you can pull is what's called Splinter. Now, once you have the card pulled, there's actually a Splinter location deck that you can pull from, and it gives you locations that coordinate to the mat that is like an explosion, or implosion, or however it may be. But at the center point, that tile and all the tiles that are stacked on top of it are sucked in, and the rest around it, the top tile is taken away. Now that could trigger endgame, because as some of the foundational hexes, there may be nothing to them, but there's a certain amount that you can mix in that are called fractures, and once you get 6 fractures, the game ends. It doesn't matter whose turn it is, what you're in the middle of. Once the cosmos has 6 fractures revealed, the game is over. And there's actually some frog abilities that allow you to flip over those foundational hexes faster and faster. And so tension comes from combat at the beginning of the game, and then by the end of it, you're worried about how long do I have. Combat can also cause these 2-mile-high frogs to be knocked back and crash into a land, and it actually break it. You actually have to turn over what land the frog ran into, and that could also reveal another fracture. So again, there's a ton of moving pieces to this game, but I just want you to know the artwork is incredible, and there's gameplay to back it up. Cosmic Frog is absolutely very quickly become a classic game for me. It will be a while before I get tired of it. So go check it out. Again, that's from Devious Weasel Games. Thanks for stopping by.